Hello, everyone. Um, we have another topic that it was asked by the community, and I think it's very interesting and it's very important step actually what we want to talk about today because that's what feels. I could see you showed the thumbs up in the video, so that's good. Um, what we want to talk about is emotional detachment or the role of the emotions in this journey in general, because as you progress you will be seeing yourself as this multidimensional human being that consists of different parts. There is no part that it's more important in your journey and you as a person, so you will start seeing your parts as emotional part, as your mental part, as your psychological part, as your spiritual part. And as you go along the journey, you will start integrating them more and more. And the way we want to explain it today is how do you navigate this emotional part of the experience? Because we can see that the community has a tendencies to be a little bit, it not necessarily stuck, a little bit confused and putting more priority into one over another. So that's what we want to chat about. If you have some specific comments regarding this emotional part of the experience, feel free to ask. We'll try to answer and let's get it started.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back here. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Rich. Glad to see you here. And yeah, it's very interesting because of what we're going to be talking about today, the emotional attachment. First of all, to describe a little bit about this emotional detachment. You have an emotions build up from the 3D within you, and on the base of these emotions, you're expecting certain things. And here's when you clashing within yourself with those, I would call it, society programming emotions, isn't there? And when the twin flame journey gets you ignited, all those programming emotions inside of you all of a sudden begins to be triggered. And when you have this um, connection you goes up and up, you are developing the relationship even bigger, better, and stronger. At some point, you go ahead and see these emotions. Okay, we're not talking about here to use your emotional intelligence. Here is about you to detach from the emotions and acting in the base of what you feel from the spirit. Because your emotions can tell you, oh, they didn't call me. Oh, they didn't page me. Oh, they don't pay attention to me. Oh, there is these situations. Oh, there is this and that. And we're seeing it through the community. A lot of the posts, they are about exactly that, based out of the emotions. But when you remove those human-based emotions, you left it aside so you can sort them out in there. You are getting the proper guidance from the soul that helps you to fix those emotions. And after that, that energy that it comes into you as a twin flame, you actually your emotions becomes to be stable. Okay, they are much better, they are much stable, but yeah, you have to go through the hoops and the loops and the positive, negative, and so on and so on for it, but it's gonna worth it. So get back to you, darling. How you want to take over of this?
Yeah. So with those emotions, I think it's important to remember how we should be able to detach from this personal story. You meeting someone and it's amazing and it's beautiful and then it ends or it gets into separation. Try to stay objective and just don't reject the connection because that's just another extreme. But if you are having hard times, just to respect the situation as it is right now, but at the same time, take your time to process what really was going on in the connection. You don't have to deny any feelings. You don't have to question, was it real, was it not real. Accept it as you felt it, but at the same time, take a look into that from more like a mental perspective and see, was I missing something in there? Because the collection connections, if they are beneficial for both parties, they will, like, I don't see much reason to really not work out, because that's, if both people are growing together, that's in the best interest of the energy. So most of the times it should just go with the flow together without all those separation phases. But if something is not right and you felt something was off in the connection, even that it was your twin flame, you can take a look and accept those emotions as you feel them, because they are gonna be with you until the end of your journey. It's, even if you're getting another soul connections, the feelings, they will be there. The feelings towards, I can take a guess, like towards all the soul connections that you've kind of experienced, they will be coming back. They will be reminding themselves about it. And you cannot reject them, because that will be going against your nature. Like, you just have to accept that you're consisting on those different parts of yourself that was involved with different soul connections. But we are not here to cling onto any specific soul connection. We are meant to embrace them, accept them when they come, work with them if they want to work with us as well, but at the same time detach or accept the moments that they are meant to go different roads. So I see that um, some confusion can come from those weird reminders, why we keep being reminded about those older connections. It's just kind of showing you where you stand in your journey, and it shows you, oh, are you at peace with this current state? Like, can you appreciate that period of our life and the lessons that were learned through your connection? But just keep moving on with your life. Just, you still have something to achieve here. You are for your own self, like you as an individual twin flame, you have your journey. You are meant to use the resources that are around you just to progress, just to evolve. So you see, this, it takes off this pressure of, oh my god, is that my twin, is it coming back, should I am I doing my inner work properly? That brings unnecessary tension. But if you see it as a whole collection of the soul experiences we have here, you're becoming more relaxed about it, and you will be more juggling. You're not getting attached to the labels, and you don't try to classify this as soulmate, this as twin flame, this is another, all those definitions. It's, if it helps you, you can use them, but in the end, you just have to be able to navigate them as they come through, as they go away, and just work with whatever is really best for you and really brings you this peace and clarity. Because that's also another, like, good direction, right? The guideline for us, like, go towards something that feels balanced, clear, and something that is really working out, like you don't have to push against. So I think, like, just embracing more this stoic probably perspective. It's just okay, like, it's, yes, it's okay that you had this emotional experiences, it's beautiful, but don't get it to your head. Try to balance your emotion, your mind, your heart, all of that together.
Yeah. Here is about that. I'm so happy for both of us because we're here expressing something that actually the community needs really in there. 99.99% out of the separation out within the twin flames journey begins because of too much emotions attached. The reason for that separations is actually you to have that emotional detachment because you were so much used to it, living your life and that needs of emotional support, this needs of emotional attachments. It's all areas of life for it. If you look at it, you are looking at for um, good respect at home, good respect with at work. You are looking at to have this family environment at work. Of course, you're looking at with all the um, your friends and so on and so on. All this, that's how I used to run with the emotions, and If the emotion doesn't resonate with you, you're not working on it. But here is right now, you have a awakening within the soul. And now with that awakening within the soul, it's like, oops, what is that? What is this new way of positions in there? You don't see that some of your emotions of that programming of what it should be, and it's the way it should be and supposed to be, and so on and so on. It was programmed within you. And if you had a bad experience, if you had a in your life of bad emotions, you're holding to a lot of grudges and gradations and so on and so on. Now, guess what? You take the same those emotions and you put it into the connection. And guess what? At the moment you're putting those lower emotions is in there within the connection, guess what happens? The connection begins to separate. To separate it, to tell you that this separation is required, it's needed. You don't have to look at those human-based emotions in there, specifically the one that keep you in the lower states in there. A lot of the comments there are like, oh, I was so angry at my twin flame. I was so mad about my twin flame. Why? Oh, you got emotions. So the emotional attachments in there is going to be coming in sooner or later. In the process of the separation state in there, you're going to be able to clear those emotions out. And this is why you're getting this stoic things inside of you. But if you are fully embracing within the journey, let me tell you something. What's happening is after this, once you go within the journey and you evolve and so on, those emotions gonna come back. But guess what? Are they coming back? They're coming back at the end after the illumination state before actual union. You start gonna feeling those emotions, but they're gonna be much more clear. They are much more powerful. They are much more greater, right? Because you are not codependent. Those emotions you receive from others. So is your twin. And this is detachment is needed because after that, you're gonna have that clear emotion path. Yeah. So, guys, if you have any questions, you may ask about it. But go back to you, darling.
Yeah, so after, because we want to talk a little bit what happens after, as you will start noticing the shift in you, you will start noticing this broadening of perspective, and you may realize that those paradigms that are being repeated, that you have one soul connection, that like meaning twin flame that you are supposed to be with, it's if you start operating from this perspective, you will just kind of keeping yourself in this cage, just kind of knowing exactly all the answers right away. And honestly, it's just they are not too meant to be known. Like it's those kinds of things are getting revealed as you go, because just what happens is very often we can misunderstand the connection that it's meant to last and it's meant to help you grow and continue in the long term. Very often they come once you are able to detach emotionally. So it's you can take a look into this ignition state and those initial stages of a twin flame experience as a test, because they are trying to test, are you able to detach from the idea of having or owning a person or being attached to the specific person here on earth? Because you see, it's within this journey, it's all about gaining yourself a freedom. So you can see the situations in which you fall into this paradigm. Oh, I've met my twin flame, and then somehow, some way, universe will be orchestrating us getting together. If you operate from this mindset, you will be kind of locking yourself with this idea. It's very hard to see other perspectives and other things and opportunities that will be presented to you if you are so narrow sighted. So it's emotional detachment. So accepting the situation as it is and just being open to other things that are actually working for you. So it's just not going and waiting until the closed door is being open. You just accept those closed doors as it is. But then once you are changing the focus, let's see other rooms. You will see how many other rooms are open in your journey, meaning how many other people you can have here to clear, some of those old stuff, to heal, to just enjoy life, because very often, if it's, you can either fall into this perspective that yes, this, let's say, twin flame soul connections, they are supposed to get back to you, or mm, after separation you will get back this person. If you operate from this state, you're missing out so much from your life. You can really do both. Like, if you really want to, um how would I say, is like, you can still be on your twin flame journey and believe what you want to believe, but don't put your life on hold. If anything, try to find this um interest in evolution and just being open to what the universe is presenting to you, because it's like, that's what happens. Like, people are just, they are, I don't know, maybe out of these fears, out of these old belief systems, they will be restricting themselves, and they will be choosing this passive awaiting, instead of really embracing. Is like, whatever universe, what do you want to bring me? I respect whatever was there in the past. It's in the past, but there's so much more that I can achieve here on my individual soul journey. But those kinds of understanding, this openness for exploration, it comes once you can just unlock yourself from this idea of, oh, but what about this person? Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't move forward, because what about the person? What if I outgrow? Or there can be many different fears that people will be having, unless they just really remove everyone from your field. You're choosing to evolve, and you don't care what that person is doing, what that person is doing. You're choosing to evolve, and then the universe can step in, because they will be, oh, I can see you don't care that much. Like, you, all you care is, moving forward. So we can present you with something that it's better for you, that it's working better for you, and it can help you grow even more. So I don't know. It's a. I try to put it in words. Like, maybe you can add something more to clarify that.
Of course, darling, I was just here and there, and it came out to me when you were talking about, like, first of all, about the emotion side. What you need to get the emotions. And here is what it's coming in the proper connections within the twin flames. In there, where is your emotions are? How is your communications with your twin flame? First of all, most and often I see it that the one person, it's more often to communicate way above and beyond because of the emotions with the other person. I'm talking about like 90% the one person calls the other in there, and the other person only like a 10%, and so on. You need to understand that within the connection, first of all, when the emotions are right, it's going to be a 50-50. Okay, equality that is in there. Um, and I see that as a Paulina was talking about, you got that emotions. You put yourself in that emotional blockage. It's only with this, it's only with that, it's only. Let me tell you, all those only stuff in there, those are like a bars. And you create yourself a cage, and you're just waiting for your twin to open without realizing in there that could be a something else. As a Paulina said, don't keep yourself locked of those emotions. When you get the emotions detached, so you're not detaching anymore for this stickiness and stay in a one spot and so on, you're able to experience and expressing the freedom. The freedom to you to continue with or without it, because that's what the journey is going to ask you. That is one of the purpose of the separations is in there. But the separations was caused by what? But by emotions, by your attachment and emotional level, because you're experiencing the spiritual emotions for the first time, and now it's like, this is what I was missing all my life, this is what I was needed, this is what is going on, and now is you have this. And since you're clinching so much to the twin flame, to the person, you abandon yourself and you put yourself in a cage. And after that, when your twin flame doesn't respond and so on and so on, you're already in the cage. And then you're like, what is my twin flame toxic and so on. Take a look at it, why you are in your own cage, first of all. So without the emotional detachments that it's there for it, you actually begin to operate of the logic within what the soul is telling you. You putting missing pieces. You stepping aside of this emotional codependencies in there while you develop emotional intelligence. But the process of when you developing your emotional intelligence within yourself, that is it, the moment when you need to turn off your emotions because your emotions is going to drive you nuts. And not only nuts, but it's going to drive in the other person in there. Now, what happens is right after that, you get to this level of positions for it. Guess what? You are going to be upgrading your emotional state. That's what the journey is asking you. Now you're operating from the freedom. Now you're operating from the positions of love, from the soul. You're embodying that. And then, since you're embodying it, then the reawakening of the heart, it's coming again. And if it's meant to be, it will be. But that doesn't mean that if you do your job, your twin flame does the same thing. One of the biggest illusion right here, it is about that if you do the one thing, they will do it the same. No. If your proper connections, if the connection is correct and so on, you will be able to discuss anything and everything in there. You're gonna be able to both of you seek what's going on within the person through the connection because you're gonna experiencing, if it's not the same thing, very similar, very similar, which is happening within us, and that's what we are coming to the telling you that when you getting yourself detached from the emotions, that emotions is gonna be helping you within the journey to sort things out without this emotional attachment, the emotional needs that actually are stopping your journey, guys. So that's what it is. But you need to understand that you're not losing your emotions. They're gonna come back, but they're gonna come back as proper emotions, not a build of suffering, not a build from drama, from your wounds, from the life. Now they're gonna be built properly healed from within the soul. And this is why the reawakening of the heart's gonna occur. And the emotions gonna be much more better, much more clear, and you're gonna experiencing them as what they are. Okay, there is gonna be no more illusions. There's gonna be no more what if. It's gonna be it is. And then you go into it is what it is because it is. Okay, but the emotional detachment is gonna be able to see clearly within your soul because the emotions they can comes in and they can really fucked your mind out. So that's what this is. And back to you, darling.
Yeah, that can be difficult at first because that's honestly the journey will be asking you to master out those this emotional body because it's not like you just detach from the first time and you never ever have to detach from emotions because this is your probably for many people it's going to be the first time ever that they try to manage their emotions this way that really put them aside not to identify with their emotions and see yes, I can see one part of me may have feelings toward the person that is not available. Maybe we are gonna be separated forever. Just all this drama that you can feel about them not having your twin flame connection as you would like to. If you can detach yourself from that and see it as a like this cloud and clump of different emotions and those anxieties and all the fears that's the first, um, probably the first time that you're gonna be doing that. That's why it feels so hard. Probably for some people it's just out of their under, like, it cannot be even imagine that how can you really detach yourself and see yourself as like, yeah, I can see that this part of emotions is, it's really, this is this part of me that wants to control everything and would like things to be certain way. And I can see how because of that I have very hard time to let go of a specific person. It should not be, I'm getting into this obsession state, or it's not proper. So the point is like you have to master out, you have to be able to get out of your emotions, because as you progress with other soul connections, or even the same one, it doesn't really matter. that's that's the basis. Like you have to know when you have to detach from emotions, because it's gonna be happening. The more you progress on a soul connection and you more you interact with others fields, you're gonna be having this emotional body recalibrated. So it's gonna be going in through this like ups and downs, and it can get a little shaky. That's why you're getting this training. That's why it's like the test, like can you really do it for at least the first time. If you're having your twin flame experience and you are asked to detach and just progress on a journey no matter what, without attachment to the person, without the fact that you're in love with this person still maybe, and if you can operate that, that's how you're proving yourself that you can just progress on the journey, and you accept that it can get uncomfortable, it can be painful and sad, but at the same time I still want to experience the other spectrum. I still want to have a joy in my life. I want to feel respect. But sometimes this one original person cannot give it to us because they are out of our fields. So it's your responsibility. Okay, if I cannot get those positive emotions from that specific person, what do I have to do? I can either sit, and yes, there are some emotions that you're gonna be giving that to yourself and just practicing self-love, but there's other spectrum of emotions that has to be involved with other person. So you have to work on just getting yourself open enough and detach from this one idea of this awaiting period, and open up for something else, some other people that can be helpful for you in this journey. Because and this is your choice, this is your responsibility. No one will be forcing you to do that. There is a lot of this negativity about that it's like, no, 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 you cannot get involved with anyone else. Honestly, you can if you feel like. There is no one to tell you otherwise. If you feel that's what you need, if you feel that you're here to experience something more than just waiting in a separation phase, and just really want to embrace those other soul connections that are here, no matter the label, you can label them as they want, but you have a freedom to do that. So that's why it's not very useful sometimes to follow what other people are saying. It's helpful to share information, but if you feel like you're above what other people are saying, just listen to yourself, really, because it's you may be more advanced than you think, and then by listening to others you will be just bringing yourself down. So we are here to master, how what's the best way for us to progress. But this mastering of emotions and being able to snap out of them, and then okay, let me do some work. I can see that I was triggered. I can see that my partner triggered me. Can we talk through that, even though it's gonna be uncomfortable? Because that's the basics for this objective conversations they're gonna have. Because the communication, of course, is gonna be key to build those connections, right? So if anytime you have emotional distress and you're gonna be controlled by your emotions, like you're not gonna be able to sort those conflicts out from this very calm state and just the proper way. So you can see how sooner or later the journey will be asking you to do that. Can you master out your emotions, your mind, and all those like subconscious things? Like, can you take care of them? Okay, back to you.
All right, guys. A little bit here of getting on fire a little bit up here. What's happening to you when you put the emotions into the connection? Every time you put your own emotions in there, your needs, your pains, I'm suffering, you should be there to support me, you need some emotional support, and so on and so on. In there, what happens to the connection? You put all this intensity into the connections right now. Why? Why you're doing this? You bring the garbage that you cannot deal with it. You put it into the connection. And now is that stress in there? So here, the real reason for this emotional detachment is leave the garbage out. We can communicate with your twin flame in there to say like, you know what? I toss my emotions out. I'm not behaving on these emotions, but I have them. What should we do with this? Oh, we need to sort that out. What it means sort that out? That's mean that you go through it. What you need, you keep. What you don't need, you purge. You let it go. You discard. You let it dissolve there because you see it that that is not helpful from within yourself. A lot of the people when they doing within those emotions isn't there, or when they clear it out, guess what happens? You bring those emotion clear back, the clean emotions you are bringing to the connection, and here that connection is your home in there. But it's the same thing within the partner. But here is what happens is when exactly these moments happen, it is about you and the partner to have that uncomfortable, actually it's proper communications. Those uncomfortable situations is in there that needs to be talked out. A lot of the people don't have those. Actually, the journey is gonna be asking you about. So when you are emotionally detached and your partner is emotionally detached, you look at it in there and it's like you're discussing the emotions. What is these emotions are? Is the love, is the anger, motivations, and so on. What is those triggers are coming? Because when you sort the emotions out, the emotions they're gonna turn to an energy for the connection. But when you have this old understandings about the emotions within yourself, guess what? You're affecting your psyche. Your psyche cannot operating from the philosophy standpoint, and also your psyche cannot operate with the spirituality. And you're like, why did the God gave me this beautiful soul connection and I cannot experience it? And God said, go look at yourself. Go look at these emotions of yours. You need to detach from that human part for a little bit so you can build the proper thing. You need to stand up and fix yourself. This is where the stoicism is coming in, as Paulina said in there. And then when you evolve, you're advancing, you're ascending, then your emotions are advanced, ascended emotions that are right now the glue, the energy that is within the connection. And most of the people they don't want to hear some certain things, but that work needs to be done. They just want to know how to get their twin. And here is those magic ceremonies and all that stuff and so on and so on, while misunderstanding what actually the journey is calling for. As Paulina said, when you are high above, because if you have your twin that operates of this codependency, little, what do they call it, grown-up wounded child on there that has not processed their own emotions since childhood, and they continue to act as a child, doesn't matter how old they are. And here you are, you're that spiritual personality in there, and so on and so on. And guess what? They keep bringing these emotions into you, and you're like, I don't need that garbage, you know. You need to fix this, and they don't want to fix it. What are you going to do? You're here to advance. And some of the people they don't like to hear that, but the journey is going to be calling. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Then all of a sudden, the one person operates in the lower energies, the other person operates in the higher energies. And guess what? The one person ascending and the other person it's falling down. And guess what? Can they travel together right now? No, they can't. Doesn't matter what kind of labels you're using and so on and so on. But if that person detached from these emotions isn't there, gets with imbalance with the other twin who takes the higher road, now that person can see his own emotions. He decides what he needs to be developed, will decide what he needs to be done, and brings it within the connection. While the higher person understands that level of what the other person does and the work it has been done, then the connection is carrying properly in there. And here it's another need for that emotional detachment, but all has to be processed from who? From the mind. Mind operates from the psyche. Psyche works with what? With philosophy. Those two, they're working with your spirituality in there. But when you have a lower emotions, it triggers within your mind triggers in your psyche. And guess what? You're losing the connection with what you need to talk to yourself in the spiritual realms through the spirituality and philosophy. And here is your conflict. Go back to where? Go back to the emotions. And those emotions that you are triggers it in there. When you sort them out, when you brought them clear, when you wash them out with clean water to see how much mud is in there, now you can bring it into the connection. And this is what happens is a lot of the premature unions, they bring that unhealed emotions into the connection just so they can be physically together. Guys, the physical part comes last. Get down through your head. First things first. You heal this. And after you heal this, during to the elimination state, you are bringing these pure, clean emotions within you. You are emotionally stable, both emotionally stable. They bring those clean emotions in there because this is what the connection is. This connection is going to have a one stable emotional body within two personalities. You're talking about union. See, more of the people, they haven't understand what union is. They think that the physical union and doing the part of living together, being together is what it is. No, guys. It is about two individuals who have a beautiful emotional, mental, spiritual, psychological, emotional, and philosophical and spiritual level all comes and clean as one. So each individual put their time and effort within the connections together because in the whole kind of like this part of existence you're going to learn into the journey is what can we do together. You see, some of you are holding with the emotions is like, oh, we could have done this with my twin flame, oh, we could have done so much greater things, oh, we could have had this beautiful life. Oh, I could have been together with my twin flame 20 years ago, but I didn't know what it was. Why? Because you didn't react in it. You reacted from a level of emotions, not from a level of soul. And here is what happens after that, is when you get to these levels of understandings and awareness within yourself, you clear the emotions. You wash them out, you polish them up, you patch them if you need to, and so on and so on. And then you're ready for it. You bring them in, okay? Those are like a diamonds that you have to polish within yourself. You become the diamond, the shining, bright reflections of the light. And you can reflect all the light in them. Or hopefully that helps you guys. I mean, I know that me and Paulina we're doing some advanced stuff for it, and I know that most of the twin flames it is, but here that's what we do, and I'm so happy that we can do that for it. And look at it, detach emotionally, see how beautiful it is. You're gonna find the inner peace. because lower emotions will not disturb your inner peace. Even if you have them, go dive within them, go see them. Why are you acting like this? What is your behavior with that? That is not clean emotion. Why do you have it? What is you have not processed yet? Yeah, because your emotions, as Paulina said, there's going to be this cloud and this bag. Imagine that you have this beautiful bag of all your emotions, and they're like this um, basketball or a football or a soccer balls that everyone play with them in the mud in the field, and you have them right now in a one bag, and they're just I mean, they're as a muddy as they can be. And you just open up that bag and you're like, ooh, shoo. You haven't opened it for the past 20 years. And they will continue depiling that mud in there. That's your emotions, guys. And now the universe is like, you see this? Oh, shoot. Are you going to bring those balls in your house? You put it in your living room? In your bed? I don't think so. See? That's what I'm talking about. You're taking them out. You clean them out. You disinfect them. You restore them. But you need to be detached from it. And then you bring those clean things and for it. It's the same thing of the ball that you're going bowling, right? Some of the balls that you're bowling when they get niches and so on, there is a special filler. You fill them up, you put it in there, you take it, you polish it, you daily polish it, you glazed it. So the ball is gonna be nice and spinning shiny. So you can have a resistance in it, right? And that's how that goes. That's how your emotions are. You work, you detach from them, and it gets beautiful because you operated for the different consciousness of yourself. So back to you, darling. I don't know. You guys, if you have any questions popping up in your mind, you guys can ask for it. So if you don't, that's okay.
You were talking about advanced stuff, but the simplicity was coming to me once again. That the process is really not that complicated. It can be tough, especially talking about these emotions that we have. But maybe just to put it into perspective for people, it's like we all know how this law of attraction is working and bringing you the similar vibrations. So just imagine there is a lot of people who are, and you can sense it, like when you look at people, that they are advanced, they've done their work, they almost reach this like a unified phase, this unified field, like they bring it to their own experience. They were able to progress enough to be whole on them by themselves, and they are reaching this highest state. But at the same time, there is this cap of emotional involvement still within this old twin flame paradigm. So they reach higher, 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 but then that's what caps them. And then if they would be able to remove themselves from this idea and being attached to certain scenarios, certain persons, certain way that their life has to unfold, they would be able to cross over, because they are like, okay, universe, I can see how I can reach more, but this old connection doesn't feel to work with me anymore. Like I can see that I'm stuck. Is there anything else I can do to move forward? And the universe may be giving you some very gentle signs that this connection is not gonna go further. Like that's the end. Like it's as much as it can go. And it can get painful in this moment, because you will see, oh, but I felt like our situation is different, I felt like we can make it. And the universe will be, no, it's not going anywhere. So you have to really process that maybe it's really not going any further. So once you accept that and get through this idea that maybe it's not going to happen, you're crossing over. But what happens with this other side, there is no scarcity in the universe. Like there's infinite number of souls that can work with you, right? So you're going to be matched based on a vibrational level with someone who also reaches a state, was able to get out of this twin flame cage, and they went through this paradigm, and they also are free. They made this step. They said, okay, I choose evolution. Let me see what is on the other side. They make this choice as well. But you can see how you can really be paired up with someone who is highly advanced, as long as you can just get rid of this idea, I have to have that person and advance spiritual with what that specific person, because you can see how this emotional um, limits are keeping highly evolved people from reaching higher. So that's how I see it. Like I can see that as this boundary. Like you have to make this step if you choose to, because it can be painful sometimes. Your mind may not be even understanding what's going on, but it's really, if you feel that something is not working out, don't keep yourself in the illusion, and see if things didn't work out in a year, 10 years, 20 years, that was supposed to go. So if that was not working until this moment, just try a different way and see if you're not putting any expectations on this journey that, oh, what about this person? It's always, it it's not that complicated.
No, it's not that much complicated, guys, for it, because the journey, I mean, your ability to listen and understanding the universe and the journey is going to help you a lot. But of course, when you have these emotional attachments, and the soul is like, no, 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 you need to let go of these emotions. No, 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 you need to let go of this. You need to let go of your twin. That is what Paulina said, crossing over. You're let go of that twin. You let go of this codependency in there. And then the soul is like, okay, let me take you over. Let's cross over. Let's see how it is. And this is where you find the balance within your journey. That crossover right there, that is coming from the separation stage, that emotional detachments that it's coming for, that it helps you really to cross over and to understand it, that it's not about your human based needs and wants that is within the emotion. It's about something else, something more advanced. You're gonna learn those advanced emotions. They're gonna come back to you. Don't be afraid that you're gonna be losing it and you're gonna be this emotionless cold without emotions personality. No, you're gonna be feel like you're detached from others and so on and so on about your emotions, but your emotions are being cleaned, organized, upgraded, redeveloped. If some of them needs to be redeveloped for your own journey, because after that, all your emotions they're gonna come within you. They're gonna be shining, polished, and cleaned there. But you crossed over. You see, you crossed over. You evolved. You ascend. You moved up. That is the part of the twin flame that some other people they don't do it. They get stuck, and we're seeing it within the group. We're seeing it what the people does, through the questions that been asking over and over again, and they are for this emotional attachment. We'll remove that to see what's left. We're gonna find the soul connections that's gonna take over and lead it there, and that is what the beauty is within the twin flame. When the two people left their emotions aside, as that's what me and Paulina were doing, we left our personal emotions aside, and we begin to talk about the journey, and we see that this emotion is not okay, that emotion is not okay. Oh, I need to push. Dio needs to go ahead and work on his agitations. Oh, Paulina needs to work on her love or whatever emotions is in there. And then we're doing the work, and they'll come back like, oh, look how that beautiful was. That was great. That was this. Okay, that's what it comes after. The connection is actually gets even better because you are bringing within the connections those clean emotions, and the more they clean, the better it gets. Okay, but the detachment is required. Don't think about it that you're not required there. You're gonna find out. All right, guys. I don't know. I think that's for right now. For it, unless you baby have anything to say.
Maybe just a reminder for people who crossed over. Once you make this step, and you will sense it, that oh, finally, I feel like I released something. Like I feel like this drama and this period that I'm just in this pain and misery, it's over. I feel like I can do it. I can just continue with my life. And once you start feeling this shift, you may have other connection. Either your twin will be going the same person, but you also can be presented with someone else, or your intuition will be guiding you somewhere. Like, oh, I have to dig more. Maybe for yourself. Maybe you will want to just to dive deeper, just to understand yourself better, or you're gonna be asked to go somewhere. Those intuitions will be working with you stronger if you take out the emotions from your journey. So I would just advise to go and follow that, because maybe that's the your higher self will be guiding you towards the proper path. Because once you put the trust in the connection, because we were talking several times, like twin flame connection, this is this unending stream that can flow through you, but not necessarily will be expressed by the same person over and over and over. So you see, once you emotionally detach from the journey, you're back into the stream. But then you don't know what is on the other side of the stream. Like, you don't know who's gonna be this other individual that can recreate the field with you. But you don't care about it. You're emotionally detached. You saw it's okay. I've had this twin flame experience. It was beautiful, but right now my life is going on. Let's see what else I have. So you're back on the stream, and you can be finding someone else who is in the same stream that is matched based on your vibrational similarity, and you can join the journey. But you have, so that's why it's important. If you will feel these intuitive nudges, that go somewhere, do something, just follow that, because that might be the universe trying to get you to the right person that can help you grow further. Because it's good to have this heads up that it can happen. Some people, because everyone is expecting their twin to come back, and if they don't, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to wait. It means that probably you have to shift your perspective a little bit, be more open, and not be afraid to just explore it a little bit. There is no wrong or right way. The only wrong way is just really if you're feeling stuck and you feel like you have to wait for someone else's doing their inner work or doing their movement, any action. It's like, yes, I'm gonna wait for my twin because I know whatever I do, they are doing themselves. Not really. It's just you, only you're focusing on yourself. You care about getting into the field of the twin flame energy, the source energy. Once you're in there, you don't care. You're gonna be guided. So that's one thing to remember. But also about this, as you progress, you can realize this emotional body, how it's gonna be shutting on and off when it's going into this calibration state. Especially, I remember when the beginning of our connection, when it was getting stronger, I was having issues with emotions. Like, if we were getting too much emotionally involved and I could feel those love emotions from Dio, I was getting overwhelmed. So after our talks, what I had to do, I had to do something very like logical, or something that involved my mind thinking. It was like imbalanced. So I had to take time to be able to absorb more of this love. It was not necessarily, the love that Dio was giving me, because that was given by the connection itself, but I was not fully open to receive. I had to learn to receive that. And right now I don't have issues with that. Like, I don't have to go and escape after we feel those emotions. I don't have to go and balance that with my mind and those like logics, or doing some logical stuff and so on. So I can see how it just shows me that, how those different parts of yourself will be trying to get themselves into balance. So there might be periods that you will feel even not emotions, like, oh, I don't even feel a love, like, what is this between us? Oh, it's a connection. And the connection, it's moving. It's the fact that you may feel detached or disconnected from emotions. It may feel that there's something that is being repaired, recalibrated, something has to be looked at, and it's going in this shutdown mode, so you both can see that, can analyze that, because it's not necessary in this moment, really. It's just you don't want to put anything that is broken or needs repair back into the system. Like, first let's deal with that, and once it's dealt with, like, it's gonna come back on its own. And it happened to us already so many times that that's we take it like this is a process. You have to be gentle, don't panic, don't make any moves. It's like, oh my god, I lost my love, where is love? Love is not going anywhere. It's just, this is one part that had to be adjusted, but just trust and see where the connection wants to take you. And then you will see how it's coming back on its own. And that's how you see, oh, I'm in the right track, I'm in the right connection, because I can see we are both working together. Yeah, so I think that's from me. I cannot see any
Great.
question.
Yeah, I don't see any questions, but I'm gonna be go ahead and close with that. It's like mm, able to give and receive. You will understand that, for example, the one person can need more, or the one person can have the needs to give more, and the other person is may gonna need some needs to receive more. So with your connections in there, guys, it doesn't matter if it's a spiritual connection or whatever is. I'm giving you something very important up here right now. For a closing with this, make sure you understand that what you actually need is really you need, and if it's something you need to develop in there to create a balance from within. Because if you need certain emotions in there for it, and those emotions becomes needs, you become needy of your twin flame connection, and you're going to be asking to twin flame constantly to need something, validating. The other thing here is if you haven't learned how to receive, you need to be learn how to be open to receive in there. And once you receive it, you have to learn how. And this is the proper energies exchanges. But if your emotions is in there, they're going to be standing on your way. But your spirit, your soul, will know how to do that. This is another reason why you have to be emotionally attached. Then you're going to be attaching them, but with your spirit. But that's about later on. All right, guys. All right, so thank you so much, guys, for watching. We appreciate you. Drop us a comment below for it. If you need some help, help is always given. You can check our website, guys. And yeah, we're here for you, guys. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you out, guys, in your journey.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and see you next time. If you have any topic to discuss, just let us know. Be happy to answer.
Yes, guys. Be love.
Be love.